Hello and welcome to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. Today we are going to be creating a glitter tumbler. Now these glitter tumblers are very popular right now, both as gifts and for selling. So if you like to sell products, then this product is going to be something that you want to create. In the past, we have done some amazing tutorials with glitter tumblers and regular epoxy resin. They do take quite a bit of time to create because the epoxy resin takes 6 to 8 hours to cure and you have to do a couple of layers of it. So I want to show you a quicker and easier way to do this using UV resin, which cures with the sunlight or a UV light, and it expedites the process from start to finish exponentially. In just a second, we're going to go over all of the supplies that you'll need for this project. But before I do that, I want to invite you to click the link down below and grab our yearly membership here at Maker's Gonna Learn. The yearly membership gives you access to so many things, including our entire library of cut files and fonts with unlimited downloads. That's amazing. Our yearly membership also has a free commercial license, which means that you can sell products like this one we're making today legally using our cut files and fonts. So click the link below and use the promo code LABOR25 in order to get $25 off our annual membership. Let's go over the supplies that you will need for this project. As always, they are linked below for you, so click on those links to grab the supplies. We are going to be using this stainless steel tumbler. It comes with a lid. I also have Loctite spray adhesive. This is going to help us put the glitter that we're going to use on our tumbler, which brings me to the next supply, our Starcraft Beach Twilight Purpley Glitter. We also have the UV resin here. This is a hard type UV resin. I have some gloves. I have some electrical tape so that I can tape up the tumbler. I also have some alcohol and a paper towel so that I can clean my tumbler prior to putting the adhesive on. I'm also going to be using this mermaid vinyl. It is by Oracal. And then I have my tumbler turner and a UV light. Other than weeding tools and the other basic crafting tools that you already have in your craft room, we've covered all the supplies. So we are ready to get started with our tumbler. So the first step that we want to take is to grab some alcohol. This is in just an alcohol or a little pump bottle that we like to dispense our alcohol. I have a paper towel here. Ideally, you can use a paper towel that will not leave lint. So you could grab a microfiber cloth or something like that if you want to. But just give the cup a good cleaning with the alcohol and then let it set and dry. Now that I've allotted ample dry time, I'm going to grab my electrical tape and place a strip of tape all the way down here, all the way around, just even with that ridge, and then I'm going to do a small one up at the top. This just makes it look nice and clean. You don't have to do this step, but we just prefer to do that just because it looks nice and polished at the end. You can see how I applied that. I put a piece right here and then just slowly rolled my tumbler so that it was easy to make it nice and even. And then at the end, I want to leave the tape a little bit longer like this so that I can create a tail. I'll fold it over on itself, kind of like this. And then that will make it a whole lot easier to peel off when I'm ready to peel it off. Now that we have that side done, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the top edge as well. Now that we have our tumbler taped off, we're going to grab our Loctite spray adhesive and spray a light coat on our tumbler. I am going to go outside to do this. Make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area when you do it, and then use any proper PPE that you might need in order to create a safe environment for putting this on. So I've put a thin layer of the Loctite all over this, and the nice thing about Loctite versus using polyurethane or something like that is that Loctite is still tacky. Even when it's dry, so the glitter will stick to it. You don't have to rush and put your glitter on like you might with poly for fear of it drying too soon. Now I've just grabbed my glitter here and I'm going to do a coating all over my tumbler. Okay, I have one coat of glitter on here, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but you can still see some of the silver shining through, so I definitely want another coat on. So what I'll do is take my Loctite spray back outside, put another coat of it on, and then layer another coat of glitter. One cool thing about this, and I kind of got a little carried away over here, but if you put a piece of paper or cardstock or something underneath where you're going, then you can pick this up and funnel the excess back into your glitter so you can reuse it. Okay, we have that second layer of Loctite on, and again, we're just going to take our glitter and put another coat of glitter on the tumbler. Okay, now that we have our second coat of glitter on here, I'm going to set this to the side and clean up all of this glitter. I'll grab my glitter vac, funnel this back in, and clean up. So I mentioned it before, I have my little glitter vac here. This is by We Are Memory Keepers, and if we are crafting with glitter here at Maker's Gonna Learn, we use this glitter vac. It is amazing. Watch it work. Now I am ready for the fun part. We're going to be adding our UV resin to the tumbler. I have it placed on my tumbler turner, and I am just going to shake this up, follow the steps for prep on your resin that you're choosing, and definitely grab the proper PPE that you need in order to create this project safely. And then what I want to do, I like to start out with just a thin strip right here, or wherever you happen to land, and then I'm going to turn my tumbler turner on and then just gradually smooth this out. And then I like to stop mine, add a little bit more, and then smooth it out until the entire tumbler is covered with a very, very, very thin layer of resin. Once I have a good thin layer on the entire tumbler, I like to let it go ahead and rotate and then just take my finger and make sure that it's smooth and that everything is good and covered. You definitely don't want so much that when you are swiping, you have a buildup on your finger. If you have a buildup on your finger, then you have too much resin for your first layer, or any layer for that matter. The tendency for these is that you can look at them as a first-time tumbler maker and say, hey, this is gonna end up being nice and thick and shiny, but you get there by layers. You don't do it all at one time. So make sure they're good thin layers. With the tumbler turner going, I want to grab my little UV light and I'm going to plug it in and just turn it on and kind of hold it here. You can also prop it so that it would angle this way if you want to. You just want light access to the entire tumbler. And what I want to do is cure it this way for maybe about a minute. I definitely don't want my resin to be hard. I still kind of want it to be tacky, and then I'm going to remove the tape before the resin cures the whole way. To remove the tape, I'm just going to grab one of those handy little handles that we left there with the tail of the extra tape and go ahead and remove the top and the bottom pieces. Then I'll turn my tumbler turner back on and continue to cure it with my UV light. While the tumbler is turning and curing, I'm going to jump over into Design Space and create our monogram that we'll be using. I am using a Maker's Gonna Learn font that you can download with your monthly or yearly membership. So make sure to use that coupon code LABOR25, LABOR25 to grab $25 off our annual membership and use all of our amazing fonts and cut files. I'm just going to grab a text box and insert the letters E-O-F for my monogram. And then I want to come up to the top. Actually, first what I want to do is ungroup. And then I want to select the left-hand letter, come up to the top where it says font, and then I'm going to type in monogram, so that my monogram fonts will come up. The scalloped monogram is one of my favorite MGL monogram fonts that are available, and when you download it, it comes as 3 OTF files for the left monogram letter, the middle monogram letter, and the right monogram letter. So when you change the font in Design Space, you do have to select the correct font for each letter. So I am going to select the scalloped monogram left font, then I'll select my O, come back up and select the scalloped monogram center font, select my F, and grab the scalloped monogram right font. Now what I want to do is just squeeze these together so that they are good and even and they look like a nice circular shape. I'll pull mine in just a little bit, just like this. And then let's come up to the top and we will align these by distributing them horizontally so that I can make sure the O is centered in the middle of the E and the F, just like that. Now what I want to do is just group these together or attach them together, either way. And I want to make this 3 inches high so that it fits perfectly on my tumbler. Now I'm ready to go ahead and click Make It. I'll select that I'll be placing my material on a mat. I'll press done and then I'm going to press continue, connect to my machine, and then select the material setting, which will be vinyl. Now I'll place the vinyl on my standard grit mat in the top left-hand corner, bray it down so that it sticks very nicely to the mat, and then I'll put it in my machine and cut it out. Now that this first layer has cured, I'm going to go ahead and put my decal on. Make sure that you have a nice smooth surface. If you put it so thin that it's still really gritty, your vinyl may not stick really well to it and you may need to put another very thin layer before you put your vinyl on. It's sort of a learning curve when you do that, but I am ready, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. Smooth down and apply just like you would a regular vinyl decal. Now that our decal is on here, I'm going to grab my electrical tape and re-tape the top and the bottom so that when I put another layer of resin on, that it's not overlapping down here. If you feel like you could do that very carefully without overlapping, without some of the resin coming where you don't want it, then you could skip this step. I am not that great at that, so I'm gonna just take the precaution to go ahead and tape, and then I'll put another layer of resin on. Now that we're taped off, we are ready to grab our resin and apply another thin layer, just like we did with the first. Make sure that you are taking care and being gentle around your vinyl decal so that the edges don't come up. Just go ahead and place that down, and I'm going to smooth this out really nicely, just like we did, making sure that the whole surface area has been covered. Then we can rotate it and then add more. Now that we have a nice even layer of epoxy, we are going to just cure it again here with our light. And I will let you know, if it is a nice sunny day, it will cure more quickly outside in the sun. So grab an extension cord and just place this outside somewhere where bugs and grass and things like that aren't going to get into it. You do need to consider that for sure. The worst thing would be to have a finished, nice, amazing tumbler and look at it and see some random piece of something in it, because you can't fix it at that point. So just be careful about that. And one other thing that I want to point out, I didn't mention earlier, when you're selecting your glitter, you need to pick a glitter that is not super chunky. If you get a really chunky, thick glitter instead of this fine glitter, then a lot of times you have to do so many coats of the epoxy to make it smooth that it is so thick and awkward to hold. So you don't want to do that. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial for a glitter tumbler. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel here at Maker's Gonna Learn. Like this video and let us know if you have any questions. And again, I want to invite you to click the link below to take advantage of our amazing Labor Day sale using the code LABOR25.